Hey everyone, how you doing today? We have the lovely Dana from Himlane. How you doing?
Great. Thanks for having me, Michael.
Absolutely. So we've been talking about QuickBooks, we're talking about lease renewals, and as you know, I'm a geek for financials. And one of the most important but least talked about financial statements is not net worth, not even the income statement, but it is the cash flow statement. So I know Himlane's been working hard on some financial statements. I thought maybe you could share those a couple of with us. And again, folks, just real quick, if you want to get a taste of these, go get the 30-day trial at himlane.com and start playing with it. Understand just how powerful financial statements can be. So you want to show us what a statement of cash flow looks like?
I will. And just to begin with, before I even show that, I'm going to share my screen here to just show setup.
Yep.
A lot of real estate investors now, some are like you and me, Michael, who have accounting degrees, finance degrees, but there are many who don't.
Very true.
And we want to make it as simple as possible for you just to get up and running, right? And also do the operational work. So you and I spoke a lot about QuickBooks and how it's almost too much and that you have to customize so much of it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't do the operational work of physically collecting the rent, where the rent comes through. Michael Jordan has paid me the $2,200 and it's through the system. So it's not like Excel where you have to manually type in, yes, they paid me $2,200.
Right.
It's automatically in here. And so there's this area called settings that has subcategories in here where you can go ahead and put any categories based on your specific
I like that.
investments and what you want. So for example, you can have rent, but you could tag something as pet rent instead of just rent. So you can break things down, Section 8 rent, like to anything that you want, especially like application fees, if you charge that, laundry, if you charge parking. So we have all of these where it's simple, where you could just choose the main category. But if you want to, you could add subcategories to break things down, for utilities. You might want to break it down into those categories. And then you can record under the transactions, which I think we've gone through all of that. So your expenses, your income, you can do things offline, as offline means it wasn't collected through Hemlane. You can also collect it through Hemlane. So if you're working with a property manager or a leasing agent on Hemlane, usually they just request their leasing fee and it's automatically logged in there. So once you're set up and we try to make it simple with these categories for you, and you'll see it broken down into mortgage and loans and capital expenses, then you can go over to the report section. The report section here basically goes through and gives you everything you need associated with either cash flow or income statement and breaks it down. So let me start with the cash flow statement and then I'll go to the income statement. Cash flow is like physically when you get the money, right?
Yeah, just real quick, the reason this one is important, folks, because you could have an income statement that looks healthy. You could have a net worth that looks great, but if you are not managing cold, hard cash, it is oxygen for a business. I have seen many people who have great businesses worth millions of dollars go out of business because they let their cash flow get out of hand. Cash flow is the most misunderstood and frankly, most important statement for a business, including being a landlord. So sorry, I just wanted to highlight that.
No, I think that's a fantastic point. I've seen it too often where people don't keep reserves and they say, oh, wait, I can't pay something. And if this tenant doesn't pay rent on the first of the month, I literally can't pay the mortgage. And that's not a good thing. So you can set this up however you want. You can look at different reporting periods. You can also look at it by month, quarter, or year, and you can download all of this into both Excel or PDF, or you can download both.
Cool.
So if you are an Excel guru, you can go ahead and put it into Excel and manipulate and however you want. But anyways, we have in here both your income and expenses. So what that looks like in your net operating income. You can also add your mortgage payments and other loan payments. And with that, you can also break it down into interest. I spoke about the subcategories. This is just my demo account, but you could break that down into what the principal is and the interest. So you can break everything down. Then you have your debt service coverage ratio and capital expenses. That's probably the biggest one. The capital expenses you can break down into anything. So capital expense is like a new roof, right? And in that's where those big ticket items are that you said that you really lose your, you look at your bank account and you don't have enough money in it. And so you can break all of that down to basically see what that net cash flow is there.
Nice.
And then we also just put liabilities in here for you at the bottom, so you can see those. This is all based on cash. So like, when do you physically get the money in your bank account? People always ask, well, what about like a tenant pays rent for, let's say, May, but they paid it back in April. They paid it on April 26th, right? It will show the cash as you physically got it then. So we put this income statement together where it's very simple. It's not the QuickBooks accounting, but you could do it based on the date. So you could do it based on the date they physically paid it.
Oh, nice.
You could do it based on the date that it cleared and hit your bank account, which is what the cash flow statement shows. And you could also do it based on your due date. So if you want to see your tenant, as a simple example, pays $1,000 every single month, and you want to see just every month it's going to be $1,000, that's what it's supposed to look like. You can do it based on due date.
Oh, that's cool.
In all cases, you can break it down to the property. When you export it, it has both the property as well as the unit level. So you have all of that in here. Again, you don't have to use class codes and jobs to get things set up. And then you can also do it based on any reporting period you want, and then display it by quarter or a year, whatever you want there.
Yeah, what I would tell I would tell a mom and pop landlord here thinking about using Hemlane is go do the 30-day trial and just go back to whatever you're using today, whether it's QuickBooks or Excel. Go do the last 90 days. Put the data in, play with the 30-day trial. It's free just to see what's possible here. So that's something I would recommend everybody do.
Yeah. And one last thing I'll leave you with is a lot of things you can set up automated where it's recurring every single month. And then you could either mark it as paid. Like you could go in and very quickly mark it as paid here. And I'll just quickly show you that I've got a balance of $1,400. I could just record a payment if I wanted to, or I could automatically mark it as paid. If it's something I know that I'm always paying out every month, maybe you're not paying it through Hemlane, but it's always going to be paid, guaranteed to be paid. And then that will automatically go to your reports at the correct level, whether it's a property level, whether it's a unit level, whatever it may be, you could do it from there.
Very cool. Again, folks, if you're going to be a landlord, mom and pop landlord, financial statements are important. You need to get comfortable with them. I think QuickBooks is overkill for 98% of folks. First off, it was just created by accountants for accountants. Let's be real. Hemlane is created for landlords, as you can see here. It's very easy to use. Go to hemlane.com for your 30-day trial. And of course, type in Zuber, Z-U-B-E-R, and you get 20 points off the first year. Thank you very much, Dana. This has been a lot of fun.
Great. Thanks, Michael.
You got it.